Okay, wow, what an intro. Wow, what an intro right there. Alright, mic check, 1 2 1 2. I don't know why I did that. Like I'm a rapper or some shit. Like I ain't no rapper. Alright, Foster Gamer, we in here. And I said my mic sounds good to me. Good enough. And I think I only ran through like one cutscene. Ended up being like a whole hour because of some shit. But yeah, it's pretty much just the same thing. The stickers being the same shit so far. Oh yeah, and then we made a buzz on Noka Nia, aka YouTube. Had like 100,000 views and shit. That's pretty much what they were spazzing over. Oh yeah, and what's the name told Taku that she's regular teenage that he was a regular teenager. But anyway, 8 p.m. Tomi Gaia Shibuya. Oba Clinic. 2-minute walk from Yogi Park Station. This private clinic, 20 minutes away from the heart of Shibuya, was loved by the locals for its homey, comfortable atmosphere. I almost said some other shit. The clinic offers internal and pediatric medical services. It had no facilities to allow someone to stay overnight. The wait was 10 minutes at worst. Some days it was more common to find the director's drinking buddies there telling broady jokes than it was to find patients. The only full-time doctor was the clinic's director. He had 2 nurses. The only times it ever got busy were during flu shot season, and when the director's neighborhood baseball team had its annual tournament.
かしいな。ここにねえってことは。
The clinic's second floor. Yo, my dude has a whole spot up here. Got a whole living area. Alright, just double checking. You never know. This floor was living room, kitchen, and bath. And the third floor, with the rooms for children, formed the localized small-scale children's welfare facility named Aoba Dormitory. There was no sign of identifying it outside, so you just walked by the building. You'd have no way of knowing that the upper floors were an orphanage.
ズキズキきやがる。ここにもね。おい、ノノ。
もうちょっとだから。
ちげえよ。薬がどこ行ったかって。
Wataru Sakuma, the director of the Ioba Clinic and Dormitory, looked at the dinner lined up on the table and froze. Boiled vegetables, white fish with plum, tofu, hamburg steak, natto, rolled omelet with shiso leaves. The oldest girl at the dorm had been in charge of the cooking ever since she came here, and when she was in 6th grade. Every year she started cooking more and more like an old woman.
お前な、おばあちゃんじゃねえんだから、肉とかよ。
腹回りの贅肉を減らしてから言ってちょうだい。嫌ですからね、老後に高血圧治療の面倒見るの。
食べ盛りもいるってのに。ああ、ちょ。
Sakuma pressed his hands up against his temples and rubbed them.
どうしたの？
ロキないか見当たらねえんだよ。
何、頭痛？
But how you the director of a whole clinic and you unhealthy as hell? that does not mix well. That's why it's like it's certain places I just won't own because of like it's certain places and jobs I don't take just out of like just out of respect to that profession. Like being like a fitness trainer or something like that, I wouldn't do because it's like, yo, I got a whole gut here. Like why? Like it'd be one thing if I was like heavy into like still training or something, or if I was a sumo wrestler, then maybe I'd do a fitness center. But it's like, yeah.
確か。ってちょっと待って。もしかして二日酔い？
How do I? Oh yeah, there you go. So that's what she looks like outside of school, huh? Sokuma moaned a little. Kurusu smiled gently at him, still holding the kitchen knife.
父さん、そもそも課長で医者であるあなたが病院の仕事手伝ってるとはいえ、見習い看護師以下で娘である私に薬の場所を聞くのも問題ですけど、よりによって二日酔いですって？昨日の夜、残った事務仕事を私が片付けてる時に晩酌してたの？
いや、仕事は俺だってしてたぞ。
じゃあ仕事中に飲んでたってことね。そんな酔っ払いに出せる薬はありません。あと1週間禁酒にしますから。
おお。
はあ？おい、ノノ、冗談だろ。
できた。2人とも呼んできて。ごちそうさま。おいしかった。ごちそうさま。はい、 お粗末様。お茶入れるね。ユウ、手伝って。
Her little brother nodded, and together they took the plates for the four of them. All the four of them had been eating on the kitchen. It was their job to clean up. Yu Takabana and Yoto Takabana were brother and sister. They were the only two siblings at the Aoba dorm who were actually blood related, and the rest of the neighborhood thought it was cute how they were always together. The Shibuya earthquake had occurred when Yui was in 2nd grade and Yoto was only in 6th, and hadn't started school. After the earthquake, the two of them had come to Aoba dorm. The two of them had been depressed for a long time between the shock of losing their parents and their experiences in the earthquake's aftermath. Now they'd made it to the 2nd year of middle school for Yui, and the last year of elementary school for Yoto. Oh, so Yoto's going into middle school then?
No.
Is that what I'm getting?
明日の夕飯は先に食べてていいぞ。
During the meal, Sakuma had complained about Nono's ban on his drinking, but Yui had told him he brought it on himself. Yeah, I was like, what? Let me get. Sorry, y'all. Let me get into my zone. I've been really fucking up on the reading these past few streams. He spent the rest of the dinner muttering to himself, but by now he calmed down a little.
最近バタついてるからよ。
嫌です。温め直すのめんどくさいもの。それに。
Sorry if y'all hearing weird sounds. That's me scratching my beard.
バラバラに食事するのって好きじゃないの。できるだけ家族揃って食べたい。でも、バタついてるってどうしたの？
Kurusu checked the clock as she spoke. It was almost 9. Aoba Clinic closed at 6:30, and it was often after 7 p.m. by the time Sakumo finished his paperwork and came up the stairs. Kurusu would have dinner ready around that time, but it was true that lately he'd been coming up later and later. Sakumo shrugged and said he wasn't sure why exactly, but
大学の後輩が渋谷でやってる医院もそうだし、ここらのでっけえ病院、代々木の AH 東京総合病院とかよ、最近忙しいらしいんだよ。の
あ、ごめん。それで？
ま、復興祭が近いから浮かれて怪我するやつが増えてるんじゃねえかとか、それに合わせて例の症候群をもう一度見直す動きがあるとか、いろいろ言われてんだけどよ。
見直すって6年経って今さら？
わかりやすく復興して治ってんのは街の外観だ。ここはそう簡単に治らねえからな。
Sakumo patted himself on the chest.
うちの患者は別に普段と変わらねえんだけどよ。その後輩やら知り合いやらからなんだかんだと頼まれるのが多くなってんだよ。おかげで肩こって仕方ねえ。
As her father rotated his shoulders to stretch them, Nono told him he was doing a good job. He normally looked like a goofball, but Kurisu knew that he was reliable when it counted. Aoba Clinic was far enough from Shibuya that it hadn't been damaged during the quake, and so it had remained open. She had heard that Sakuma had taken in patients with minor wounds, a field that was outside his specialty, and treated them. She helped at the clinic's front desk. The patients would often tell her grateful tales about what he had done then.
どうしたのこの梨。
パーラー西野で安売りしてたの。いただきまーす。
Oh, let me see what's up with this real quick. Sorry about that, yo. My homie sent me something funny on Facebook. But nah, that's how I feel it's gonna be with like kids and shit. It's like them motherfuckers gonna be disrespectful as hell in the future. But in many ways that's our fault for that. But it's like, yo, that shit. Oh my god, yo. Oh no, I'd rather deal with sons than daughters. I'm cool with having either, but it's like I'd rather deal with a son. I don't know how my older brother does it. Yui and Yoto had come back from the kitchen with tea and a sliced pear. She stuck a toothpick in a slice as she spoke.
甘くて美味しい。ああ、ゆいポン酢買っといてくれた？今日底根でしょ？
お一人様1個までだったからユウ連れて2個ゲットしてきた。あ、そうだ、いつものスーパータイムセールの時間変わるって。
嘘。
1時間遅くなるんだって。
ああ、困るな。夕ご飯の買い物どうしようかな。
あと風呂場の洗剤切れそうだったよ。あの白のパッケージの。
それは週末のセールを待ってる。
どこの？
青木薬局。
クーポンあるよ。
ほんと？助かる。そうだ、ベランダ見た？洗濯物干す方の角のとこ。
え？何？
苔生えてるのびっしり。
それが？
なんとかしないとそのうち赤谷が湧くの。
やだ。
私だって嫌です。というか私が一番嫌。
Wait, what's a red mite? Never heard of that. Yeah, bro, you need to start making sure that shit don't be happening.
喉痛いの？
風邪？ちょっとありえないんですけど。
Oh, she said, does he have that? Like, does he have that corona? Look at the youngin' face, yo. She like, yo, does he have corona? Like, they're good. Let me chill. Let me not make light of that, yo. RP to the fallen, yo. RP to the fallen.
看病するの私たちなんですからね。 ただでさえ寝汗が多くて洗濯が大変だって言うのに。少しは痩せてよ。だいたい父さんの食費だけで月にいくら。
What the fuck? Sakumo slams his teacup on the desk. He reached the limits of his patience. Bruh, what was that? Yo, what if I made that my ringtone? Anytime I got a text message, yo, you just hear. Yeah, my nieces be like, yo, like Uncle Falls, like, what is that? But oh, that's my ringtone. Okay, Sakumo slammed his teacup on the desk. He'd reached the limits of his patience.
No. ゆい、話がある。ちょっと座れ。
座ってんじゃん。
な、お前ら。
They are listening. Sakumo pressed down on his temples again as he wondered where to begin. It felt like his headache was getting worse. But in the end, he couldn't come up with any ideas except to say it directly.
もう少し高校生と中学生らしくできねえのか。
は？
Two of them looked at him as if he didn't know what he was talking about.
No, お前趣味なんだ。
何急に。
いいからよ、趣味は。
部屋の掃除。
ゆいは。
セールのチラシ集め。
Two of them kept eating their pear slices, unsure of what he was getting at. Bro, y'all do sound like some old motherfuckers. And then they continue their conversation saying, what's his problem? Must be terrible getting old.
座れ。座りなさい。
座ってるって。
お前ら何歳のうちから初対地見てんだ。セールがどうの食費がどうの学生の会話が。
家のことは任せるって言ったのは父さんでしょ。
Kurusu ran the Iobo dorm's budget, and Yui helped her.
もっと遊べっつってんだ。ライブ行ったり服買ったりよ。
別にいいよ。ネットで聞けるもん。言われなくても服はフリマとかで買ってます。いいのないときは自分で作っちゃうもの。
ちゃんとしすぎなんだよ。なあ、好きのない女はモテねえぞ。
I can't believe a father is actually saying some shit
ク
like
ラス
that.
の子供っぽい男子になんか興味ありません。あとのの姉は中等部じゃアイドルだから。そうなの？
Of course, Yui nodded. Yui went to Hikuko Academy's middle school, which was located close to the academy itself. The high school and middle school did a lot of activities together, and Kurisu had gone to the latter before as part of her student council president job. Kurisu chuckled.
こっちじゃどっちかっていうと怖がられてるんだけどね。
彼氏の一人もいねえのか。お前の浮いた話聞いたことないぞ。
course, because secretly you want
クラスの子供っぽい男子になんか興味ありません。
へえ、そっちも男子ってそうなの？
年頃の男子なんて何歳でも一緒でしょ。
Kirsten sipped a tea with a smirk.
ブラコンめ。
You and your brother complex. Even he called it out. We all called that shit out, yo. Okay, Sakumo. Okay, he observant. He observant. He observant. I see you. Like, I see you, bro. And then she spat it out like she'd been struck with a bullet.
ののね、大丈夫？ゆう、ティッシュ。
うん。
Kirsten coughed as she took the tissue from Yui, then wiped down the desk.
変なこと言わないでちょうだい。
Her face was bright red as she yelled at Sakuma.
お前はタクルに構いすぎなんだよ。そんなんだと他の男が寄ってこないぞ。
そんなことないです。あ、いや、寄ってきてるって意味じゃなくて。
Kirsten waved her hand annoyed.
とにかくあの子は
ののね。
Kirsten threw the tissue in the garbage can without answering.
ゆうとはこないだゆいが言ってただろう。俺同じクラスの今野さんだがなんだか。
違うよ。いや違わないけど。
Why you putting the little youngin on blast, yo? Yo, Sakumo got no chill. Now it was Yoto's turn to turn red.
そうだ、それどうなったの？やっぱりラブレターだったんでしょ？
Oh, Yoto did some G shit, okay. He sent letters off the rip.
隠し事はなしでしょ？どうなの？
Yoto shrank back into his chair, his tiny body even smaller. Then he nodded. Yui leaned forward, excited.
徳田くんに。徳田くんにバレて、それで。
Yui's expression switched from jovial to serious.
何？からかわれた？
After a short pause, Yoto nodded.
ゆう、ダメだよ。嫌なものは嫌って言わないと。そういうのに慣れたら気づかないうちに曲がってくんだから。
うん。
でも、もしまたいじめられたりしたら姉ちゃんにいいな。やり返してやるから。
ゆい、女の子がそういうこと言わないの。
お前が言うか？
どういう意味？
There are two rules in the Ayoba dorm. After dinner, everyone would gather around the table to talk, and no one was allowed to keep secrets. Sakumo decided to open the orphanage after the earthquake. He picked the name Ayobo dorm, and the second thing he decided on were those rules. The four of them talked until around 10 p.m. when Yoto started to yawn. Man, y'all lucky. Yo, I used to have to fight for the later hours, like 10 and all that. Telling each other their lives was how they kept themselves grounded.
入るよ。
Kurisu Kurisu entered the empty room knowing there wouldn't be an answer. She started by wiping down the desk and then moved on to do the rest of the cleaning the same way she always did. Nothing had changed in the room since Mayashiro had left. It was still filled with books, papers, and DVDs. Bro, he ain't taking none of the DVDs with him. I would have been took them DVDs, yo. Yeah, to be honest, I'm thinking about doing another collection again. Cause it's like I got a PS4 now, so I can actually start watching my DVDs again. But anyway, home was the place where Kurisu felt the most calm and relaxed. It was where she could be by herself. It's where she could be herself and be with her family. Her favorite time of the day was after dinner. It wasn't that she was uncomfortable at Hikio, but her personality was such that she always felt like she had to put her job first. And she liked the roles she had at home with her family more than she liked the roles she had in the outside world. As she cleaned the bookshelves, she saw a scrapbook. She's seen it many times before, but she put it on the desk and started to flip through the pages. The book was filled with information on the urban legends and crimes that had taken place in Shibuya, and on the last page was a collection of magazines and newspaper articles. I said magazine and newspaper articles. The magazine article was dated about 6 months ago, just before Ishiro had left home. The article was from 6 years ago. It was about the Shibuya earthquake. This was why Mashiro had left home and gone to live at Mashita Park.
日付が6年前の事件とぴったり一致してるんだ。事件も自殺行為っていう内容はともかく猟奇的という点で同じ。
Bro, what is up with that? that was weird as hell, yo. Why they do the echoes like that?
あなた、殺されますよ。宮代拓先輩。
Yep. You are going to die. Something might be coming for him, or maybe Takuro was getting involved in something. As his older sister, she had to protect her little brother. But
私は
can I face what happened 6 years ago? There was a knock at the door. She tried to take a deep breath to calm herself before she spoke.
誰？
俺だ。入るぞ。何泣きそうな顔してんだ？
え？
Quickly put her hand up to her face. She wasn't crying. She took a deep breath to help her focus.
どうしたの？
飯ん時ちょっと変だったろお前。
そう？
Sakamoto looked at a scrapbook on the desk.
やっぱあいつがまた何かやらかしたのか。
His voice was a father's. Kurisu put the scrapbook on the shelf.
うん。あ、いや、 またやらかしそうというか。
相変わらずだな。ラブホテルで警察にお世話になった後、お前ちゃんと止めたんだろ？
うん。
Crystal nodded, remembering what had happened in the hallway that day.
それでもなんかやめそうになくて。
珍しいな、あいつがお前に逆らうなんて。
それは私がきちんと。
なんだ、どうしたんだ
Giacomo sensed that something was wrong with Kurisu and sat down on the bed. He motioned her to speak.
父さん、あの子ってどうやって私じゃなくてうちに馴染んだの？ほら、長期昏睡から目覚めてリハビリ始めた時は全然心を開いてなかったでしょ？
それを言ったらユイとユウともそうだろう。言っとくけどお前もそうだったぞ。
私の話はいいから。
前のこと覚えてねえな。だいたいそんなのちゃんとしたきっかけなんかあんのか。
But he crosses his arms and seems to be trying to remember the past. Soon.
いつ馴染んだかなんてわかんねえけど、初めて一緒に夕飯食った日は覚えてるわ。
あ。
Kirsten realized that she remembered too. Even after he started his physical therapy and learned to walk again, for a while he kept eating dinner alone in his room. Giacomo had told him that everyone was supposed to meet and talk after dinner, but he used his poor health as an excuse to stay in his room.
私も覚えてる。そういえば、あれってなんでだったの？
多分な、お前の単価だよ。
え？
あいつのリハビリ手伝ってたろ。家族なんだから私が面倒を見るっつって。
うん。
Mashiro had refused, but she told him there was no reason for him to be embarrassed now. She had been in charge of cleaning his catheter when he was in a coma.
そっから前にも増してつきっきりで、昔からだ、お前のブラコンぶりは。
だから違うって言ってるでしょ。
んで、あいつが問題なく日常生活できるようになって、そろそろ学校も大丈夫じゃないかってお前が俺に相談持ちかけた時、なんて言ったか覚えてるか？
She tried to think, but she couldn't remember herself saying anything special.
小学生の時、学校にあまり行っていなかったって言うけど、私が行けるようにする。もしあの子をいじめるやつがいたら、私がやり返してやる。嘘でしょ？
She didn't remember that at all.
本当だよ。さっきユイも言ってたじゃないか。明らかに昔のお前の影響だ。今以上にとんがってたからな。それをあいつは部屋の外で聞いてたんだよ。その日の夕飯からだ。あいつが一緒に食べるようになったのが。 まあ結局あいつはあまり学校には行かなかったけどな。それでも保健室登校で卒業できたのはお前のしごきの成果だろう。
As she listened to Sakumo's words, she could feel the terror that had been building inside her start to fade away. Instead, she felt a mixture of confidence, nostalgia, and joy.
そんなこと私言ったかな。
ののねえ、何してんの？
そっちこそ二人でどうした？
ユウのトイレ。そしたら声が聞こえたから。
そう。
She smiled a little at Yoto's embarrassment. He couldn't go to the bathroom on his own at night. He'd always been shy and spent most of his time clinging to Yui, but the earthquake had given him mild scotophobia? What? Specific phobia is a type of disorder where the subject exhibits an extreme mental physical rejection response towards a certain object or situation, such as height, needles. Okay. Never knew that was what that was called.
ねえ、二人はタクルに帰ってきてほしい？
当たり前じゃん。家族だもん。
うん。
っていうか、タクル兄の掃除当番全部肩代わりしてるの私とユウだから、早く返してもらわないと。
あと買い出し当番も。
ああ、それもだ。忘れてた。
I ain't gonna lie, being in that position, I would be type mad too. It's like, yeah, of course you gonna miss your older brother and shit, but it's like, yo, now I gotta do all your chores, man. All stuff that was your chores before. Yeah, all chores that was yours before, like, were just gone. The security laughed and looked around her missing brother's room at her family. There's no change in what happened 6 years now.
ユイ、
I said 6 years ago now. Oh, bad.
ユウトをいじめるやつがいたらやり返してやりなさい。
え？もちろん。
She would have to protect her family. So that they would live together again. Okay. Crystal took out her smartphone and left the room, leaving her uncertainty. Crystal took out her smartphone and left the room, leaving her uncertainty behind. Shirka was sitting with her legs crossed on the cold floor, looking up at me. Put my ear up to the door and tried to see if there was anyone outside.
大丈夫。誰もいない。
じゃあもう諦めていこうよ。さすがにお尻が限
一石舞踏家。数年前のニュースだったと思うんだけど、トイレの鍵が壊れて2日間くらい閉じ込められた人がいて、救出された時に閉じ込められてどうでしたかって聞かれて、こう答えたんだ。トイレがあってよかったって。
私たちは2人だからトイレできないじゃん。
He said, "Girl." Wait, why? Damn it, she was right for once. But she was right. I was reaching my mental limit too. It was past 10, which meant we spent more than 2 hours locked inside the bathroom. We were on the 5th floor at Tokyo General Hospital, in the women's toilet near the lobby. We learned in the club room this morning that the creator of the sumo stickers was here. Turka and I had come to the hospital right after that. Each floor of the hospital had different sections. Each section had its own lobby, so we were able to go around to each floor and gather information by talking to the people there. Well, it was mostly Circa who did the talking. Shout out to Unqualified, he in the live chat. And then we heard, what's good, bro? And then we heard that there was someone in a private room in the back of the 5th floor who drew a lot of creepy pictures. I got excited. The person drawing the pictures might know something. But there was a problem, namely the ward they were staying in. There were 2 wards on the 5th floor. The first was the gastroenterological ward. What? I think I'm saying that right. The gastroenterological ward, straight down the hall from the lobby. But to get to that place, but to get to the place where we wanted to go, you had to take a right from the lobby and go to the psych ward. To meet with the patients in the psych ward, you needed permission from the patients and the hospital. If you weren't there to meet someone, you wouldn't be allowed in. While we were sitting in the lobby trying to come up with a plan, visiting hours for the psych ward ended. Then hours for the gastroenterological ward ended too, and we had no excuse for being there any longer. And that's how we got here to where we are now. If I hadn't taken Circa's advice and chosen to hide in the women's bathroom, where the stalls were inevitably in use more often, someone would have gotten suspicious of us a long time ago. No, maybe they were already suspicious.
くそ、少しでも情報を得て帰りたかったのに。
Ito saw the pair in the picture at the club room. He proposed we start investigating them immediately. But I decided to temporarily leave that to him and visit the hospital. I didn't tell Ito where I was going or why. If he knew I was putting a priority on verifying information on a homepage run by a crazy man with no sources even given, he'd make fun of me. But I couldn't stop thinking about it. That's why I wanted to find like something. My phone suddenly starts to vibrate.
クルス。
I frowned when I saw the name. Damn, and at a time like this too?
Taku?
You're not going to answer it, Circa seemed to say silently. I decided to ignore the phone call.
いいの？
仕方ないだろう。きっと出たら面倒なことになる。
Whoever it was, chances are it wasn't something I wanted to hear, and I couldn't exactly hold a conversation right now. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm about to get me some coffee. More coffee. Alright, we're back. Um, 2 hours, huh? I didn't know being quiet and doing nothing was so tiring. Jessica had her arms crossed over her knees. She looked upset. Was I imagining it, or has she been really fidgety over the last 10 minutes?
変なの。まさかこの年でタクと一緒に女子トイレの個室に何時間もこもることになるなんて。
At this age. Yeah, I don't think I'm actually gonna do I don't think I'm gonna do anything for this one. Yeah, because normally I do a trigger. I do a trigger for one of these, but I really don't care because of the situation. I kind of want to just like see what's gonna happen. Because I'm pretty sure it's gonna be something ridiculously funny that happens in this stall. But I'm like, yeah, probably nothing crazy.
そう言わずにもうちょっと付き合ってくれ。
Worst case
いい
scenario
け
was
ど、
she's probably gonna have to use the bathroom. Then the other case was more of like his boy mind
で
going
もこ
wild.
れ以上粘っても意味ないと思う。
She sighed a little. I looked at her and she looked at me. I was starting to fidget a little, maybe because we'd been talking about going to the bathroom.
ちょっと。ねえタク、とりあえず今日は諦めて出直そうよ。
Circa stood up and rubbed her butt a little bit.
お前は気にならないのかよ。
え？
この病院は
This was the hospital we snuck into a long time ago, looking for an urban legend called Amy. In the end, we had to give up before we could figure it out. But if there was some connection between the sumo stickers and this hospital,
そりゃ気になるよ。調べられるなら調べたい。でもこうなっちゃったらさ、明日からちゃんと面会時間に通い詰めて入れるチャンスを待った方がよくない？
meh.
それはまあ
今だったらこの回で見つかりさえしなければ普通に外に出られるでしょ。
This place had an ER, so it was open at night and people would be going in and out. As long as we could get to the first floor lobby safely, we'd be able to walk right out. Damn it, maybe we didn't have a choice.
わかった。とりあえず
My phone vibrated again.
またか。
I thought it was Kurisu calling me again, but it wasn't. I checked once again that there was no one in the restroom and answered the phone.
もしもし。
おい、宮代。お前、
今どこにいる？
どうした？
副部長が事件を追うのはやめなさいって切れてるぞ。
Seriously. She called my homie. She called my homie.
今、あなたたちは何してるんだって問い詰められた。てか、怒鳴られた。怖かった。
お前まさか。
You didn't snitch, did you? Yeah, he told said, man, this nigga snitched. He snitched.
全部喋った。そしたら、設置した監視カメラを外しなさい。いや、私が今すぐ外しに行くっつって電話切られた。
お前そこは耐えろよ。
無理言うなよ。思わず副部長に敬語だったぞ、俺。
God damn it, that coward. Luckily for them, they got just by it. He said, well, I knew how he felt.
で、とりあえずお前のことは、何か別に気になったことがあったみたいで、尾上と一緒にそれを調べてるみたいですって言っておいたから。何してるか知らねえけど、副部長に殺される前に謝っとけよ。てか、電話に出てやれ。
Bro, don't answer that phone. He hung up before I could say anything. Where, yo, in most scenarios I get, like, yo, he should probably listen and answer that phone, but, like, yo, you gonna be in trouble regardless. Kinda don't. You might as well just follow through at this point. It's just one of them it's one of them lose-lose situations. It's a catch-22. Anyway, with nothing else to do, I put away my phone.
のんちゃん、元気出たんだ。よかった。
Serica looked happy. She must have overheard the conversation.
いや、よかったじゃないよ。
Or it is not good.
でも、のんちゃんらしいよ。
Sup, Otaku? Yeah, Serica nods to herself satisfied. She really did look happy.
お前どっちの味方なんだ？
タクだよ。タクだって、のんちゃんが元気ないの嫌でしょ？
そりゃ、いや、いい。
タク、行くの？
言っとくけど、諦めたわけじゃないからな。
I just didn't feel like I was going to find anything more by staying here. I'd just come back tomorrow during visiting hours. And dodge curses somehow.
よし。
God damn, man, my phone going off. I'm gonna put it on silent. There was no one around. The nurse at the nurse station was staring at her PC. If we crouched down, she couldn't see us. Motioned to Serica, and we quietly left the bathroom and started for the lobby. We made it across and arrived at the front of the elevator. I looked ahead and saw an automatic door with a thick frosted glass. The psych ward lay behind it. Next to it was the control terminal with an intercom. When visiting, you would say your name and have them unlock the door from the inside.
くそ。
During visiting hours, I'd been sitting in the lobby waiting for the automatic door to open. I tried to see if there was a way to sneak in alongside another visitor, but had ran out of time before I'd gotten a chance.
タク、しょうがないよ。出直そう。
Circa must have noticed me staring at it because she motioned for me to leave.
あ
She was right. If we use the elevator, they might notice the sound. We just have to take the step.
Huh?
タク？
Circa stopped just before she reached the stairs.
いや、今。
Heard a beeping noise coming from the automatic door. Someone was coming out. I dragged Circa out onto the landing for the stairs. That was weird. I didn't hear any footsteps. Huh? Huh? Noni.
嘘。
I looked around the corner and saw that the door was open.
なんで
It was definitely open, and there was no sign that anyone had come out. I could see deeper into the ward now, that the frosted glass was out of the way. The hallway was dark, and it was long past lights out. Why would it open? Was it set to open automatically from the inside, and someone had walked close enough to trip the senses? I hadn't seen anyone pass by. Now back at Circa as she pointed down the stairs. Someone was coming up. What should we do? There wasn't enough time for the elevator to get here. The lobby was out of the question. Should we go upstairs? Or would we be safe if we just walked downstairs and acted like nothing was wrong? Dark hallway seemed to beckon to me. There was no guard or nurses around. Ah.
タクル、あなたも他の人と違わない。ただの高校生でしょ。
Shit. Flashback used at the wrong time. He is about to do something stupid. I grabbed Circa's hand. And ran straight for the open door.
わかんないけどチャンスだ。行こ
Ran straight up to that open door. I believe we must hide. I believe we must hide. Like, what was that sound? Said, I believe we must hide. Circa was behind me, so I couldn't tell if she nodded or not. I ran faster so that I wouldn't have to hear my heart pounding. And a moment later, we were inside the psych ward. As I listened, the door shut behind me. I moved up to the wall and took a look around. It was too dark to see all the way to the end of the hallway, but there didn't seem to be anyone there. The green light of the emergency exit reflected off of the floor, bathing us in dim light.
タク、手。
I realized that I was still holding Circa's hand. Quickly let go, and she turned her hand towards the wall.
これ。
She was pointing at the simple map of the ward. It showed the nurse's station, the exam rooms, and what were probably the numbers of the patients' rooms.
確か絵描きって奥の個室に入院しているんだよな。
Circa nodded. But the map didn't say if the rooms were singles or not. I look at the door in front of me. There were plates with what looked like two patients' names. These rooms were doubles, which meant that any room with the same layout was also probably a double. I look back at the map. Where were the private rooms?
あった。ここら辺だ。くそ、やっぱり奥の方だな。
Yo, who was the cameraman watching the hospital guy? This dude must be slumped. Matter of fact, yo, I wonder how much. I wonder if I could end up getting like one of those type of jobs, yo, where I just gotta look at a camera all day. Cause let me tell you, I would be bumping so much music in that shit. I'd be doing the most. Cause to be honest, I was trying to get like one of those jobs at like the hotel or whatever, so I could bring like my laptop and and like do editing in there. But it didn't go out that way. It did not work out that way. I turned to the side and started walking as quietly as I could. The weird scent, unique to the hospitals, was stinging my nose. I was used to it, but it was still a little creepy. And it was too quiet. If this was a psych ward, I expected to hear some crazy screaming or something.
いや、偏見か。いくら閉鎖病棟とはいえ、大半は高齢の認知症の人たちだろうし。
So hospital ward, usually for mental patients, well, locked entrance and heavily restricted access and visiting rules. In the broader sense, refers to any hospital ward, but not just a mental ward, that cannot be accessed without permission from staff. So it'd have to be. So that's probably like one of those visiting Jones where it's like you'd have to have like a staff present while you're visiting type of shit. But you wouldn't expect the patients to be screaming 24 hours a day, especially after lights out. But what was with the air here? I can feel it in the air. No, it didn't matter. It's just another dim hallway. You say that now and then end up being some shit. I wasn't going to the scene of a crime this time.
Huh?
Then I realized it. Come think of it, when I gone inside the Love Hotel, I'd first tried to get past the door, then almost given up. I turned around and saw the empty hallway stretching before me, past a confused Serica. The automatic door was on the other side of the corner.
あの時も鍵が勝手に。
That's right, the door to the hotel had opened on its own, just like the automatic door here. Police had told me I'd been mistaken, but maybe it was really.
タク、どうしたの？
いや、
I realized that I had stopped moving. Y'all hear that? Crap, was that a nurse?
こっち。
Wow, and now we're back in the stall, huh?
ああ、松下さん、点滴逆血してたよ。え、またですか？外しちゃってました？それがね。
Kira was sounding like two nurses in the hallway.
バレちゃった？
いや。
Listen carefully. They seem to be talking about a patient. Good, they hadn't found us. We would have to stay here until they left.
タク、そういえばさ。
ん？
She gotta use the bathroom, don't she?
昔忍び込んだ時って、どこに行ったか覚えてる？
Took my ear off the door.
そりゃ覚えて。いや、具体的にどこか覚えてないな。
Try to think back to what I've seen so many times in the dream. It was 8 or 9 years ago now, but that long ago. Damn, I hate yawning. It was 8 or 9 years ago now. About that long ago, I was still in elementary school.
でも、この平等じゃなかったとは思う。
Couldn't remember how we got in exactly, but I didn't remember sneaking through an automatic door. And
あれは精神科に見られるような治療じゃなかった。
actually, I don't think you could even call that treatment, whatever it was.
どうした？
I was about to ask before I saw her face and realized what was wrong.
大丈夫か？
うん、大丈夫だよ。
A picture's worth 1,000 words. But anyway. She clearly wasn't okay. Did she remember what happened before? Come think of it, actually, she tried to act strong and failed last time too.
大したことじゃない。絵描きの情報を確かめて帰る。それだけだろ。
The nurse must have finished talking because I could hear the footsteps getting further away.
よし。
Jessica slapped her cheeks with her hands and tried to snap herself out of it.
行こう、タク。
あ、
When we got to the room, the dim light of the emergency exit lamp was shining down it.
ここ？
I nodded. This was probably the place. It was a private room to the back, and there was no nameplate on the other private rooms we passed.
開けるぞ。
There was no time to hesitate. We could run into a nurse at any moment. I looked to my left, I looked to my right, and checked that there was no one there before opening the door. It was a dark room with no lights. There was enough light to see my hands, but not my feet.
誰もいない。
The bed against the wall was empty. The blanket was rolled up. Circa looked over to see if I saw. Was this not the place?
他の部屋を探してみるか。
I went to leave when Circa grabbed my arm.
なんだよ。
タク、あれ。
え？
Circa pointed at the back wall of the room. Her hand was shaking a little. It was too dark to see. I softly crept forward to get a better look.
ん？ なんだこれ。
The whole wall. The whole wall was covered with drawings of the sumo stickers and what looked like red paint.
気持ち悪い。
Circa grabbed onto my arm. The warmth reminded me I wasn't alone. That made me feel just a little better. If I seen this alone, I might have screamed and gone crazy.
この匂いは。
Like, that's not red paint, that's blood, baby. It's like, nah. Y'all not gonna know where I referenced that from. That's Cartoon Management Jay's life. Shout out to Toons. I noticed that there was an unpleasant scent coming from the red paint on the wall. Took another step forward, and then I realized. Put my hands in front of my mouth to stifle the scream, and then another hand in front of Circa's mouth to stop her from screaming too.
どうしたの？
Circa ripped my hand away from her mouth and clung to me tighter.
これ絵の具じゃない。
Bro, you should have just got her out of there and told her later. The strange smell like rust was the same thing I smelled at the Love Hotel during the Revolving Dead incident. Who had drawn these? Who would draw something like this in blood? Imagine someone locked in a dim room, endlessly drawing paintings in blood on a blank wall, and a shiver went down my spine. I got goosebumps all over my body.
やばい。
There was something very wrong with this room.
タク、何してるの？
Suddenly realized I was holding on my smartphone. Suddenly realized I was holding the smartphone in my quivering hand, and without realizing it, I pushed the record button, started filming the drawing on the wall.
違う。こんなことしてる場合じゃ。
行こうよ。ねえ。
Circa tried to drag me back, but my body wouldn't move. I knew it was dangerous to stay here, but I couldn't move. Circa was saying something behind me, but while I could hear the sounds, I couldn't understand what they meant. Then heard a sound from somewhere in the dark room. It was the sound of someone scratching something. I gulped. My body froze even more.
今どこかで音が誰だよ
Okay, y'all, what we about to see? Was someone in here with us? Someone was in this room. In the darkness. I could hear the sound of something hard being scratched again. But the sound bounced off the walls of the square room, and I couldn't tell where it was coming from. I desperately searched around the room, eyes cloudy with terror. How long had they been there? A girl was crouching on the floor alone, her back to us. She was right next to the sumos, a hand wrapped around her knees, and she was staring at her feet. She was staring at the drawing of a sumo sticker. It was too dark to tell for sure, but I saw something dripping from her fingers. That was blood. It's like, now let me chill. But that was blood. She had cut her finger to draw that. She was drawing these pictures. I couldn't speak. My throat wouldn't work. I had questions to ask her. Who are you? Did you draw these stickers all over the town? Why are you drawing these? But I just couldn't speak. The strange sight before me filled me with an indescribable terror. I was overcome by the idea that if I talked to her now, if she turned around, she would transform into something else and attack me. I heard my name and turned towards Saika. I said Saika, Surika. Her hand was clutching my arm tightly.
どうしたの？
おのえ
急に怖い声出して何かあったの？
何かってお前あれ
Shaking, I point my finger at the girl on the floor. But she was gone. There was no one there. I was standing in the middle of the hospital room shaking, staring at the drawings at the sumo design on the wall. My hand had numbly lowered. My cell phone was recording my crotch.
大丈夫？
Jericho looked at me worried.
あの女の子は
女の子って何？
今そこにいただろ
But there was no one in the direction I was pointing. Just eerie pictures in an empty room.
やだ！怖いこと言わないでよ！
じゃあ今のはただの妄想
Or maybe whoever had drawn the bloody pictures on the wall was already dead. But some trace of their spirit was bound onto the paintings and trapped inside the room. No, that was way too paranormal for me. It was too impossible. but I couldn't get the images of the crouching girl I thought I had seen out of my mind.
行こう。ここは多分良くない。
I took Circa's hand and slowly started to walk backwards. It felt like if I made a sound, all those eyes of Sumo drawn on the wall would open and stare at me. We made it back to the door and jumped out into the hallway. What the fuck? I could hear the frantic voices down the hallway.
まずい。
The hospital staff must have heard my scream. They probably thought something had happened to a patient. They were going to find us. Huh? Did I just hear a sound from the emergency exit? Circa jumped onto the door.
Huh?
I said jumped onto the door. Yes, she jumped onto the door. Bro, who's letting fireworks out here?
ああ
Fucking with my recording.
どう？そっちは？異常なしです。何があったんでしょう？
I could faintly hear the voices of the nurses running back and forth across the hallway. Evidently, they hadn't found us.
助かったね。
I could hear Circa take a sigh of relief in the darkness. I used the light from my phone to look around. We were on the landing of a staircase. This was probably the emergency stairs.
降りられそうだね。
Circa looked down, illuminating the stairs with her home phone.
なんで？なんで開いてたんだ？
非常口だからでしょ？
In a lot of scenarios, usually the emergency exits are supposed to be locked, or they cause like a sound, or they don't open unless an emergency happens.
でも閉鎖病棟だぞ。
If they were keeping the automatic door locked, there was no way they wouldn't lock the emergency exit.
きっと閉め忘れだ。
「 Did they? Could we really get that lucky? And I was sure I heard a sound.
タク、それより今はここから出ないと。
Circle pointed down the stairs. I used the light from my phone to look at the knob of the emergency door. Good. It was the type that opened from the inside. The other door probably were too.
下へ降りて出口を探そう。
オッケー。タク、さっきの壁の絵。
Circle probably was thinking the same thing I was. Was that where the creator of the sumo stickers was kept? Or someone who had something to do with the case? In the end, I had no answer. There was a whole wall of sumo sticker images drawn in someone's blood. That was the only information we had. Circa seemed to understand as well because she didn't ask any more questions.
よし、開いた。
Unlocked the door and quietly opened it, then peered down the hallway. Ooh, what? I ducked without even thinking. I placed my hand on the door to support myself and then quickly yanked my body back inside the stairs. Why?
なんであの二人がここにいる。
There was no mistaking it. Those were the two that Ito had noticed in the club room this morning. Circa stuck her head out just a little and saw them too. She dropped down. I put my hand over her mouth before she could finish. I know, so don't make any noise, like... Why are they here? Was there some connection between them and the sumo stickers after all? I could hear footsteps. That's theirs. I couldn't move. They'd hear me. Froze and concentrated on what I was hearing. Good. They were heading further away. Damn. Ain't this some R. Kelly trapped in the closet shit? Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh no. Not good. Not good. It's not good. Where he in the staircase, phone ringing, he like, oh no. Oh shit. They were getting closer. Who were those two? What were they doing here? Maybe.
もしかして事件の犯人は。
取り返しのつかないことになる可能性だってあるの。
For a moment, I felt incredibly cold, like my whole body had gotten smaller. The hand I was holding against the wall was slippery with sweat. My heart was pounding, and it hurt to breathe. No. Suddenly, my frozen body was yanked upward. Stumbling and tripped, then I was yanked up again. Just as Circa kicked open some kind of door and dragged me through, I saw them pick up my phone. Bro, he dropped the ball. This nigga Taku dropped the ball. I think this is a good spot to save it, but I'm like, yo, this dude Taku dropped the ball, yo. Yo, bro, how you gonna drop the ball like that, bro? Bro, if this was a football game, you fumbled heavily. You cost the whole game, bro. You dropped the phone. He dropped the whole phone. Oh my god. But anyway, with that, I